just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for this team. After the meltdown in Portland against an undermanned Portland team, this Knicks team finds more and more ways to outdo themselves. And tonight, it was a home loss to the 17-39 OKC Thunder. 4-17 in their last 21 games. Undermanned. They don't have their defensive stopper in Lou Dort. They don't have their point guard in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They give up 127 points to this OKC Thunder team, who's dead last in the league in scoring average at 100. They cracked that early in the fourth. This Knicks team is such an embarrassment. It's not even funny, man. Star player, 7 turnovers, brutal turnovers to help cost us this game. 127-123. Knicks lose to the OKC Thunder. You want to look at the coach? The coach who doesn't realize that you only get one challenge in the game. 45 minutes for Julius, 41 minutes for Mitch, 45 for Fournier, 40 for Quentin Grimes. And on the other side, you got the youngest team in the league doing the damn thing against your team. 8 minutes for Obi Toppin. 8 for Cam Reddish. 8. Once again, you got Taj getting more minutes than the two of them. No disrespect to Taj. That's my guy. 8 minutes for Obi and Cam. 45, 48, 40 Grimes, 41 Mitch, 45 Julius against the youngest team in the league. Point guard, point guard, point guard, point guard. You had a 19-year-old kid, a phenom. This kid's gonna be tough for this league. A 19-year-old kid from Australia come into our building and absolutely carve us up. Josh Giddey, 28 points, 12 dimes, 11 boards, 11 from 22 from the field. Sliced us up like a prime rib. Their point guard's going north to south. Our guards are going south to north. We cannot get into any type of good offense in the half court. Lousy. Whether it's Kemba, whether it's Burks. We know Burks isn't the point guard. We know Kemba is a shell of himself. This Knicks offense is putrid. To the extent that you need Fournier jacking up prayer, Hail Mary threes just to keep this thing close and respectable. And he did. He did what he had to do. How many times are we going to say it? We celebrating Linsanity, the 10 years of Linsanity. And it's been 10 years since Linsanity, Felton, whoever you want to call it, Jason Kidd at 40 years old, since we had competent point guard play. So when you don't have that, you're giving it to Julius, forcing him to create in the crunch time, and you already know that's a recipe for disaster. This team just cannot execute in crunch time because we don't have a reliable point guard. You had a 19-year-old kid who was perfect tonight. Perfect.
Forget about the fact that 40% of that starting lineup wasn't even in the game for Oklahoma City. We just lost to a developmental, essentially G League team, and that's no disrespect to Oklahoma City. This is a team whose president, who I'm over the head heels fan of, at this very moment, he is literally scouting third graders as we speak. This is a team that literally goes out there, has nothing to lose, is on a 5-game losing streak, CP. And they come into the Garden. They don't just embarrass us with an Australian gem, a kid that came out of nowhere, who's been playing his tail off the entire season, quietly because the league has not noticed him yet.
Yeah.
He's had a little highlights. People, seen little highlights on SportsCenter, this, that, and the third. But maybe he just came to the Garden, and he made us a plate. On top of that, I want to also point out what you just put up on the screen, bro. Cam Reddish and Obi Toppin both got 8 minutes in this game.
8 minutes.
And this goes back, bro, to the conversation that we had almost 2.5 weeks ago. You were talking rationale, and the only reason I even exploded, it wasn't even because of your fault. It was the simple fact that this coach, it's not working, bro. And he continues to try to cram this, ridiculous offense that I don't get it. It didn't work in Chicago. It didn't work in Minnesota. You're over here giving more minutes to Taj Gibson, who's been a reliable, great veteran for this team. And he's at the end of his career, his run in his career. And you're over here, giving him more minutes as though he's supposed to do something for this team.
What a beautiful L tonight, man. I just, listen, at the end of the day, man, I don't know what the hell Tibbs is doing, bro. I honestly do not, because before the deadline, people had the out, we had the reasoning that we got to boost these bets trade value, and then we're going to flip them at the trade deadline. That's why we're playing these guys. For them not, for Alec Burks to play 30 minutes and for Reddish to play 8 is absurd right now, dude. Yeah. Leon Rose needs to step in, bro. He needs to step in and just force Tibbs' hand. That's it. Because he's not doing anything. He's literally it's as if he's tanking, but he's tanking the wrong way. He's tanking with the vets. You don't tank with the vets. You tank and at least get some development out of it. I think that me and you know this, CP. They were trying to trade Randall. That was back with the Conley trade talks before that whole fluke of a season, and they didn't trade him. If they traded him, the pick wouldn't look that bad. But it's just a shame that we have so much talent on this team, young talent, and it's literally getting wasted and injured because of Coach Tom Thibodeau. So Tibbs needs to step in, and not Tibbs. Leon Rose needs to step in and forces Tibbs' hand, and that's pretty much it, man.